What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour on a special holiday edition of 4th of July. Welcome in to the Buckeye Rush Hour. We're talking Buckeye football today. And if you're joining me, you must not have anything better to do. But I appreciate you showing up. Hopefully, you have all your digits and all your appendages and everything you need to get by on a daily basis. Just not your sanity, because don't bring sanity around here. This is crazy town, right? We're talking Buckeye recruiting on this 4th of July special. We're going to talk about targets, recent commitments and announcements, future announcements coming up as well. But first off, got a question for the chat. I'm looking at some of the big matchups coming up this year, and I'm going to start off with week 1. I want you to give me your prediction for Clemson versus Georgia. Now, I have a spread of 13.5 right now. Georgia's favored. Obviously, it's in Atlanta, a quote unquote neutral field. Yeah, okay. Anyways, give me your pick. Clemson versus Georgia, week 1. It's a noon game, surprising noon game. So give me your winner as I drop this in the chat. One second. There we go. All right. Okay, let's get to it here. All right. So please leave your questions and comments in the chat. We will get to them, I promise. And I'm going to talk a little recruiting here. Let's talk bad news first. Justin Hill committed to Alabama yesterday. That was not the way we saw it going, right? But some chatter started in the morning on the message boards and stuff, and the Alabama boards were oddly quiet. So Justin Hill's parents are Alabama fans for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what to think about. Some people from Cincinnati, not everybody, but some are kind of weird, like a little off, Why is that? I don't know. Anyways, his parents are Alabama fans, whatever. They're probably bandwagon fans. But so he commits to Bama. That's fine. Bama continues to be on a tear on the recruiting trail. They've brought in like 9 top 100 guys in the last month. It's something insane, man. Then earlier in the week, you had Dakorien Moore commit to Oregon. That's not the way we saw that one going either. That was a bit out of left field, but they were not in it up to the day before. So I don't know. Nike money coming through. Who knows? That's going to be a long flight from Texas to Oregon, though. Definitely going to need a connection there. Anyways, and by connection, I mean you're going to at least stop once. So let's talk about the Buckeyes, though, and who we do have. We currently have 3 5-stars. We have 10 of the country's top 100 recruits, 16 blue chip recruits, the 4 and 5 stars. So let's see if we have some booms coming. We're going to go through position by position here, talk about some guys that have offers and have not committed anywhere yet. And then at some point down the road, not right now today, but we're going to have to talk about getting out that spatula, not because we're going to flip some burgers. We're going to have to flip some recruits. And that's going to be our last ditch effort. You'll probably have a couple guys in the 25 class get offered late, like late July. There's a few days of open visitations where guys can come on campus. We usually don't bring too many guys in for that, maybe a handful at the most. And then you're going to have some early fall offers, but you're getting in pretty late on a kid, and usually it doesn't go well. So, all right, let's talk about start off. Quarterbacks are fine, obviously. Tavy St. Clair in, no problem. Now, running backs. We're looking at needing another running back. Let me run through the positions here. We need 1 running back, 1 receiver, a tackle named David Sanders, hopefully, 2 interior O linemen, a defensive end, a linebacker, a safety, and a corner. So that's what we're looking for. So your two running backs that the Buckeyes currently have offers out to are Shakai Mills-Knight, 6'1", 217 out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, same high school as Max LeBlanc, the 2024 tight end. He's a 3-star, but I like his size at 6'1", 217, but he's a lot like Bo Jackson and Isaiah West. So not a wide variety in the type of running back. If you bring him in. Now, then you do have our guy Turbo Rogers, currently committed to Alabama. So this will be a flip situation. He's 5'8", 190, so kind of a Rondale Moore size guy. He's out of Montgomery, Alabama. So Coach Locke definitely has a connection with him there. He's a high 4-star at 95. So he is one guy that probably Coach Locke is working on. From there, there's not much left we're talking about, honestly. You got everybody else is committed. Do you want to go down the Byron Lewis trail? I don't. From American Heritage, Fort Lauderdale? No, thanks. That's a Tony Alford special. He can go down there and get his heart broken again. That's about it. Everybody else is committed. So again, you're either going to have to go portaling after the season, or get in late on a kid or flip somebody. Wide receivers, this is obviously always very drama filled, as the position warrants. Wide receivers, you got the 5-star receiver Dakorien Moore. He's going to announce his commitment tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So rumors right now are Oregon, but I think he stays home and goes to Texas. I think we're running second or third in this one. I'd be shocked if he comes to Ohio State, honestly. We already have 3 in the class, just looking for one more. And when you look at the Ohio State commits and the roster, you got Jeremiah Smith just getting on campus this year. Then in 2026, you got the number 1 player in the class with Chris Henry. So this in-between class is going to, I don't know. I'm kind of concerned that a 5-star kid like Dakorien Moore is not going to be interested in getting squeezed, in both years. So we'll see what happens tonight at 9. I'll try and find out where that's. I think that's on the 24/7 Sports YouTube, but I'll double check that. Next up, you got Jamie French, another high 4-star, 5-star. He has 3 crystal balls to Ohio State, 1 to Texas. He is announcing August 30th, so right before his season starts there in Jacksonville. We'll see. I'm not holding out hope. Those crystal balls are pretty old, I believe. So the most recent one was for Texas, so I don't feel good about Jamie French. He hasn't really talked about Ohio State in his recent interviews. Now, that could all just be a game to throw everybody off the scent. And, he wants to make it a surprise, maybe. Okay. But I don't know. I kind of doubt it in this case. Then you got 4-star wide receiver Dalen McCutcheon, also from Texas. He's announcing July 13th. That one could go either way. He's a high 4-star, 9.514. He does have a crystal ball to FSU. He's from the same high school as Peyton Pierce, the linebacker currently on the roster. So that helps. We'll see what happens there. I don't like the one crystal ball to FSU, but and then you got Phillip Bell from California. He has one crystal ball to USC. Maybe he wants to stay home. We'll see. I don't feel great about that one. Then Vernell Brown III looks like he's probably going to stay home and go to Florida, play for his dad's team. And then Preston Bowman is a guy Ohio State just offered recently. He has a crystal ball. Well, no crystal balls, but he's committed to Kentucky just like a week and a half ago. He's from Pickerington North, 6'1", He's a 3-star, and he would be that kind of Xavier Johnson role, a little running back, a little receiver, a little bit of everything. Very versatile guy. So we'll see what happens. He could be a possible flip candidate, but again, that's probably your last resort if you're Brian Hartline. O-line, obviously, David Sanders Jr. The Buckeyes are one of the leaders for Sanders. He's announcing in the middle of August. I don't have a hard date for that yet, but he wants to announce before his senior year starts. So still in on him, still one of the leaders, regardless of what any of the other recruiting honks want to talk about. But then you got Josh Petty, Javon McFadden, Malachi Goodman. These guys are all slated to go other places. Does not look good for the Buckeyes for any of those three. They're all from the South as well, except for is it Goodman? I think Goodman, yeah, Goodman's from New Jersey. But yeah, McFadden, he's from Maryland as well. So sorry, Josh Petty is the only one from the South. Defensive end, you got Damian Shanklin committing on Friday at noon. So I don't feel good about that one at all. All I've heard is LSU. So Brian Kelly, probably still has a great relationship with a lot of the coaches in the Indiana area, and has been working on Shanklin for a while. So I don't think the Buckeyes are in on him. Obviously, they take him, but then you got D tackle Jarquez Carter. The Buckeyes could use another D tackle. He's a 4-star. He has one crystal ball to Miami. He's announcing July 18th, so coming up in a couple of weeks. He's out of Newberry, Florida. That's up by Gainesville, and he's a 4-star, an 8.921, 6'2", 284. But with already having a couple D tackles in our 2025 class, I'd be shocked if it looks to come up north. The real focus will be Malik Autry, the Auburn commit. We're going to have Zion Grady working on him to try and flip him. 6'5.5", 320. Love the size, height. That's amazing coming right up the gut. He's a 9.323, a 4-star. So that flip would be awesome. But again, flips are not something you can really count on, Now coming up Saturday, Riley Pettijohn, the 4-star linebacker from Texas. The Buckeyes are one of the leaders here. USC seems to be the top competitor with the Buckeyes right now. He's announcing at noon on Saturday. That's noon Eastern. I know he's in Texas, so 11 Central. What time is that in Hawaii? Anybody know? Nah, forget it. Anyway, so looks like it's down to OSU versus USC. We'll see what happens there. Safeties, you got Trey McNutt. I do not feel good about him whatsoever. That ship has sailed, in my opinion. The 5-star, but he's enjoying his recruiting process. He says he plans to take an official to Columbus in the fall. We'll see if that actually happens. Then you got Messiah Delhomme from Virginia, 6'1", 196. He's a 4-star, top 200 player. Definitely would take him. That's probably your go-to guy right now, because I really can't put McNutt in the Ohio State class. And then at corner, everybody's pretty much committed except for 2 guys who were committed to the Buckeyes, Blake Woodby and Jonte Gilbert. Remember Jonte? Jonte. Yeah, he was the very first 2025 commit to the Buckeyes. Seems like forever ago. Decommitted, seems like a while ago. Yeah, seems like forever ago. Then Blake would be the recent cornerback commit out of Maryland. So that's what we're looking at announcement wise. So we could get some booms coming off Friday. Well, tonight, Friday, Saturday. We could get a boom out of those 3, I think. It's very possible. So let's pop in the chat, see what's happening, and see what your prediction is for Clemson versus Georgia, week 1. All right, let's see who's in here. Billy says, happy 4th. Happy 4th to you, Billy. Odysseus says, OH and a bunch of nuts. IO. Odysseus, happy 4th to you. Billy says, JJ has made a couple tweets giving us hope that we land more. That would help get us over the hill. Very good word play there, Billy. You took your medication today, didn't you? Um, yeah, I hope we get Dakorien Moore. I'm not feeling 100% awesome about it, to put it lightly. Um, so yeah, Odysseus says saving the coffers for Sanders. That's right. Yeah, that is one positive if you look at missing out on some of these high end guys like Hill and Brew. You know, you're saving some NIL money to use later down the road, possibly for Dakorien Moore. Who knows? Jeremiah says, "Happy 4th of July, Joe and Buckeyes Nation." Happy 4th of July to you, Jeremiah. Let's see. Odysseus is the first one in with a prediction for the Georgia Clemson game. He has Georgia 41, the Dabos 7. Ooh, sweet burn. That would be funny. I'm fine with that. I think I definitely am taking Georgia with the spread there. Billy has the Dogs 28-17. So no cover. Odysseus says, I think Clemson has another year like last, and the heat starts to turn up on Dabo. I can get behind that plan. I think you're right. At what point do the fans get tired of his same old act? You know, I don't want to use the transfer portal. I don't want to use NIL, even though I used to give kids bags through a church before. Um, yeah, like he's never given kids money before. Come on, man. Um, Probably has limited funds in Hicktown, South Carolina. That's probably my guess. Um, Billy says three. Oh, Jeremiah says Georgia 45, Clemson 10. Boom. Nobody. Dabo's getting no love here and never will. Billy says three top Ohio players going elsewhere. That's concerning. Yeah, that is concerning. I don't know what you can do about it though. You know, it's that tough balance of, you know, trying to recruit nationally, but still keep kids in state, keep them at home. You know, we talked about the example last week was Jackson Carman, right? When he got away, went down to Clemson. So it sucks, um, especially 3 5 stars basically. Um, Hill might have been a high 4, but regardless, yeah, it's not a good look. And I don't know if you're a corner or a DB, I don't know how you leave Ohio. Trey McNutt never seemed interested in Ohio for whatever reason, family influence, his mom, I don't know. Uh, Dorian Brew moved to Texas, so you could kind of understand if he went to Texas or something like that. But Oregon choice was very odd to me. Um, yeah, yeah, I agree, Billy. It's concerning. I just don't know what the solution is. BM5 edits. What's happening, Joe? What's up, BM5? How you been? Good to see you. Got some good bourbon. What are we drinking today? I think I might I think you gotta drink some Eagle, don't you? Some Eagle Rare. Getting the holiday spirit. I might pour me a shot of that right after this show. Or during the show. Hey, if I can talk my wife into bringing the bottle and a shot glass over here. Anyway, um, but good to hear from you, BM5. Good to see you. Odysseus says, could see Hill flipping if DeBoer defense is like his UW ones. Yeah. By the same token, though, Ohio State needs to show film of the jack position being used in a game. That's the problem. And that I said it before the decision on Hill that the Buckeyes need to get the jack position in game. You know, somebody has to play it this year on film. Otherwise, you're going to lose Justin Hill. Now, I don't know. He's supposed to be playing that wolf position at Alabama. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't care what it is. Uh, Kind of sounds like the similar position to all these other, bullets, the star, the whatever else, the freaky Zeke. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, the Buckeyes need to get this jack position on film and being successful, not playing a 260-pound defensive lineman at the jack. You got to get somebody in there. I don't care who, Mitchell Melton, Josh Mickens, second-year guy, whoever. But you got to get that on film or you have no chance of getting Hill at all. But I agree with your point, Odysseus, that if DeBoer's defense is suspect, then, that gives you an opening. It cracks the door. And got your spatulas out. Full-blooded Buckeye, where the hell you been? Good to see you. Full-blooded Buckeye says, I'll go out on a limb and say Clemson wins 27-24. Okay. Going in a different direction. The first Clemson choice. I like it. I just like somebody to go different. Buckeye BA, what's up? He says, God bless Hill, Brew, and McNutt. Hopefully it's all they want. Really, it's all they want. Really be missed much. See the portal out in 1 or 2 years. That's very, very true. I mean, you got to maintain a good relationship if you're recruiting these kids, throughout. You got to maintain that relationship because you could be knocking on their door in 6 months or a year, whatever. So great point. The portal is always there. Billy says Womack came up to be their DC. He has some cred. Yeah. Alabama's DC. Yeah, he's good. I got no problem with him. Just let's see what he does, because they lost some dudes. Losing a Caleb Downs is not ever good for your defense, right? Billy says, well, yeah, I got you. Odysseus says McNutt hasn't committed yet. Right. No, he hasn't. But it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look good to me. That's for sure. I don't know how you guys feel, but I have not seen anything positive in the Buckeyes direction for McNutt. So we'll see. The other thing about these kids, missing out on 3 in-state guys. Yeah, it sucks, but do you really want a kid to commit if he's not interested in your program 100%? If he's not fully in, you don't want him anyways. So Buckeye BA says won't be missed. Yeah. Buckeye BA says McNutt isn't coming here. We got the best 2 players at his position. Safeties, I assume you're talking about. We got good safeties. I like Fahim Delane. And then you got Stewart out of New Jersey. That's good. Still need another one though, because that safety room is going to be depleted soon. Back to the chat here. Billy says, I think Shanklin is committing tomorrow. Yes, he is. He is at noon Eastern. Doug, what's up, Doug? Good to see you. Doug says, happy 4th, Buckeye fans. Doug says, I'm in the barn waiting for the rain to let up so I can go in the house so I can hear. The rain on the roof is an experience all its own, though. Yes. Yeah. Tin roof, rusty. Billy says, love and spoonful. Are we singing? Are we singing lyrics? Doug says, maybe, just maybe, he'll commit it to Bama because he knows we're getting Pettijohn. I don't know if the 2 cross paths there or not. I don't think Pettijohn is a jack at all. I think he's just your linebacker, whether it's weak side or middle. Christopher says use that money for Sanders Jr. and Stewart. Yes, excellent point. I agree. As long as they use it, right? The last thing you want is to have all this cash left over and watch these guys commit elsewhere, like Sanders and Stewart, So Christopher says, I saw Wilfong said today that the Buckeyes have the edge to get Pettijohn. Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know. I'm kind of out of Wilfong. I'm not into him anymore. Again, I don't like the way he does his predictions, his crystal balls, RPMs, whatever the hell you want to call them. He constantly changes them. And he did that to Hill yesterday. He changed it at the last minute, like about 10 minutes before the kid was about to commit, and kind of, in a way, you could say ruined the kid's moment. I don't know if it's that dramatic, but still, I just don't like the way he constantly changes his crystal balls, flips them and all over, because he's playing the momentum game. He's telling us which school has the momentum right now. He's not predicting which school the kid will commit to. And I think if you have a crystal ball prediction, that should be your prediction where the kid's going to go, not who's in the lead right now. We all know who's in the lead. I mean, that's pretty obvious typically. But anyway, yeah, I'm not a Fong guy anymore. Billy says Dabo is easy to hate, but love to see him knock off the dogs. Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good reason to hate Dabo. Don't forget, he did rank the Buckeyes 11th back in 2020, the COVID season. Ranked us 11th. We went out and smoked his ass. But I get your point, Billy. Yeah, the dogs, the underdog beating the dogs. It's possible, I guess. I don't think Dabo has the weaponry. Odysseus says recruiting analysts are almost obsolete these days with their crystal balls. That's the other thing, is half of them are wrong. So you don't even know who to believe anymore. You know, Christopher says it's still hilarious to me that someone compared Dion to Dabo. Those are very different coaches, no doubt about it. Very different. At least Dabo gets out on the road and recruits, you know. Dion doesn't. Dion uses nothing but the portal. and Dabo, you know, says they use all of their recruits are transfers because they're transferring from high school. That doesn't make sense. Odysseus says, isn't Dabo the anti-Dion? Yeah, exactly. My thoughts. Christopher says 100. Odysseus says both circus shows, though they are both circus shows. Yeah. It's like a train wreck, you know. You got to stop and look. You can't help yourself. Doug says one of the greatest moments in call-in radio show history happened to Dabo when Tyler called him out on accepting an enormous salary without producing. He used Dabo's Christianity as a sledgehammer. That was a good. Tyler from Spartanburg, is that where he's from? That was an awesome call. I'll be on fives on the clock. Sorry about that. Well, when you do crack one, I hope you crack some eagle. Billy says Bigfoot and the Jack at OSU, real or mythical? That's true. We have seen the Jack. It just was played poorly and not well thought out, not well implemented. Jim Knowles' first year when you put Jack Sawyer there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Bigfoot and the Jack. You'll never see them in the same room together. Christopher says December is a long ways away, but you can't change your defense for one recruit, and Wolf is the same as Jack. Yeah, I know. I realize that you can't change your defense, but if you want Justin Hill, you're going to have to get the Jack position on tape this season. Maybe that's part of the plan. Who knows? Maybe Jim Knowles will come out and completely shock us. Maybe he's going to shock the shit out of Larry Johnson too. We know they don't see eye to eye on the Jack position, so we'll see what happens. Christopher says Jack is for weaker defense. That's weak passing defense. Yeah, it's also used to stop the run because that linebacker, the stand-up linebacker, will fill a gap, an open gap, you know, that's made a hole by the O-line. Billy says, or for a good D with an incredible athlete in the role. Yeah. If you have a Sonny Styles, maybe CJ Hicks, I could see filling that role, you know, a crazy athletic guy with some size. That's the direction I would lean. Christopher says McNutt hasn't even visited Ohio State and doesn't have any scheduled. No, he doesn't. He said that he plans to take an official in the fall. He said that. So again, watch what they do, not what they say. The old adage in recruiting, right? Doug says Cody Haddad is going to surprise a lot of people. Right in permanent marker. Okay, I agree. He should be much higher rated. Broke his arm, right before his junior year. Played like 4 games, so had limited tape. I don't think he camped at all this summer. So he got his Buckeye offer, committed, and so he's probably good with not camping. But yeah, I agree. Billy agrees. Billy says we also have Haddad at safety. He's a potential stud. Yeah. Christopher says that's why Knowles run the jack so much at Oklahoma State, because lesser talent, and he ran the 3-3-5. Yes, exactly. He did not have the 4 and 5 stars that he has now. I think he learned that his first year that he didn't have to use a gimmick defense, but they've recruited guys as the jack. Josh Mickens, this Justin Hill. Wasn't there a third guy? They've talked about Mitchell Melton as a possible jack. So they keep talking about it. But again, like Billy said, is it real or is it a myth? I don't know. Christopher says he's 94% though. 94%. Who's that? I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Odysseus says Dabo ranking us 11th was his undoing. Yeah. Yeah. Then we broke Clemson. They haven't been the same since, right? I gotta get a drink of water here. Please hit like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I appreciate everybody popping in on a Thursday, 4th of July. Doug says Malik Autry said a couple weeks ago Ohio State gave him a lot to think about, and he's going to decide in a couple weeks or so. That would be a bigger deal, literally and figuratively, than Hill. Yes, he is a big deal, literally. So yeah, we'll see when a couple weeks, his decision's coming. I don't know. We'll see. I would love the flip. That would solve a lot of problems. And we need some run stoppers in there. Billy says Dion and Dabo, very different styles, but both fools in their own way. Yes, very much fools. What's up, fool? Definitely. Full-blooded Buckeye says at least Dabo has won 2 natties. Dion is a joke. That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah. And again, I think the over-under for team wins for Colorado this year was like 5.5. I took the under. I already got that ticket and just waiting to cash it. So we'll see. Billy says Autry said he'll be deciding soon, which is odd since he's already committed to Auburn. That is a little bit of a weird thing to say. I'll be deciding soon. You're already committed, man. Do you know that? Maybe somebody should remind him. Or not. I don't know. So does make you feel like the Buckeyes have a shot. Blyberg, welcome to the show. Nice to talk to you. Nathaniel Owosu Botang going to Notre Dame is going to hurt. Yeah, I had him kind of out of the class anyways. I figured he was either down for the Domers or the Cheaters. Didn't really hear anything after his Ohio State visit either way, so I figured he was out of the class. Pettijohn's really going to hurt because he's one that I feel like we're in the lead for. If things don't go our way Saturday. Doug says getting Autry would be badass. He reminds me of Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson, but taller. Yeah. Big Daddy was the man. That dude is a monster down in the middle. Odysseus says, I think we see a mix of 22 and 23 defensive styles this year, so may mix in some jack. I think so too. I think you're going to see a little bit of it. It's not going to be the base package or anything like that, you know. So I think you see a little bit of it, but got to get something positive on tape to show these recruits going forward too. You know, it's not just about 2025. You got to think down the road, 2026 and beyond. You know, Odysseus says players in 3 years of Noel system. Yes, that helps. Having more experience in the system for sure. That's going to go a long way to improving this defense overall. The pass defense is tops in the country, but the run defense still needs to catch up really, and scoring defense is really good too. But I agree. The third year really should be huge. Billy says, didn't Wilkinson have some incredible 40 time for his size? Yeah, he was pretty fast. I don't remember exactly what it was, but oh yeah, he was a freak of nature. Where was he from? 1 second. Man, he's almost as old as me. God damn. 340. Yeah. He's from Dayton? Dayton Dunbar? Is that correct? Interesting. All right, let's keep it moving here. Christopher says Boateng has always been a Notre Dame lean. I agree with you there, Christopher. Steven says, hey, Joe, Autry would be a huge get. We need that for the momentum to keep rolling. I agree 100%. Yeah. Keep loading up big bodies down in the middle of that defensive line. Keep loading them up. We got two defensive ends, two quality edge rushers. We got Merritt. He could either slide inside or he could play that strong side DN like JT. So I feel really good about our ends. We really need to beef up the middle there and get some more D tackles, or at least just one. I mean, we don't have a lot of room left, a lot of scholarships left either. But I agree, Stephen. Doug says Dan Wilkinson was different. My younger brother shook his hand after a game, and Paul said Big Daddy's hands were twice his. Jeez, could you imagine that? Man, football players are just different all around, especially big D linemen. Jeez. Let's see. Christopher says Autry would be actually a lot bigger than most people think he is. One of a kind. He is. Exactly. Todd Young. Hello, Todd. Welcome to the show. Lovely to see you today. Todd says, I think you're talking about Alonzo Spellman worked at the Nationwide building when you were an apprentice. Spellman was a freak. I saw him when he was with Dallas against Tampa, in Tampa. That dude's like, he could scratch his ankles without bending over. That dude has some freaky long arms. Todd says he slept on the sheets of drywall all day long. The dude was a specimen. All right. So Spellman was doing drywalling. Doug says, I wonder if LJ's assistant Clark has influenced LJ's coming around on the jack position, or it's a mandate from Day. Yeah, could be either one. Yeah, Alan Clark's doing a hell of a job on the recruiting trail. And now if Larry wants to get off the road, they can send Clark out with the new NCAA rule that has basically unlimited staff. Now you do have a limit. You can only send out 10 assistants, but you can make anybody an assistant and send them out. So say Alan Clark's new title is assistant to the D-line coach. Well, then they can make him a recruiter on the road, send him out, keep Larry in on campus. When kids come in and visit in Columbus, then Larry can do recruiting then and coaching and things like that. So, yeah, I think Clark has definitely had some influence. I don't know if it's on the jack specifically, but maybe. Christopher says, I really hope Day and the staff get these elite 2026 O linemen and the other elite kids from Ohio. Yeah. This 26 class is loaded in Ohio, man. We gotta turn on some of these guys. We gotta get them in. And the sooner the better, honestly. O linemen typically don't play a lot of games. But yeah, the O linemen are pretty much, off the grid, keep themselves, low profile type of guys. So yeah, we got to get these Ohio guys. And most of them probably grew up Buckeye fans. So you got that in your corner as well. Full-blooded Buckeye says, don't know if you covered this, but kind of curious to see what Chip Kelly does with this Buckeye offense. Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh, I think you're going to see, I'm not going to say more running. I think you're going to see some running game. You know, I think you're going to see some good QB run, but I don't know if you're going to see an increase like in the number of running plays per game. I don't think you're going to suddenly go 40% pass, 60% run. I don't think you're going to see that, but you will see just a diversification of the run game. You're going to add some new plays schematically, and you're going to have some QB run. Not a ton. We're not running, Tim Tebow here. It's going to be more like 4 or 5 carries a game. Maybe they're read option plays where the QB keeps it or whatever. So, but 4 or 5 carries a game, that at most, that's what I'm calling a max. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see what Chipper does with the offense. It should be amazing. It should be great. It should be much improved. Also having a good quality quarterback who's athletic, can move around a bit, not afraid to move around, and that will help the offense just in general. Todd says Spellman was a nice guy. Nice. Christopher says Clark. Wait, I got to back up. Oh yeah, Christopher says Clark's is going to be blowing up. He will probably replace Larry if we can keep him, but primarily train DT. Yep, I think he could take over for Larry as the full time coach. Then what Ryan Day should do is make Larry just an analyst or an assistant, take him off the road, but he can still work with recruits when they come on campus. He can still do all the summer camps, and he can still coach. He can still coach his techniques and stuff to the players. Blyberg says, is it true that all this talk that Guthrie from 2026 is really liking Notre Dame? I know they are a fantastic offensive line school, but that pissed me off big time. I haven't heard much on Guthrie. I've been mostly focused on the 25 guys. But I can quickly find, I know he's already been offered and stuff. So let's pull up his profile here, see if we've got any crystal balls yet for him. Offensive line. Guthrie, where are you, Guthrie? You got Sam Greer. He's a 4-star out of Akron. He should be a layup. You got Conroy out of Ignatius. I'm not finding Guthrie. Have we not offered him or something? I'll have to check on that later when I got time. Back to the chat here. Sorry, Blyberg, I don't have any info on Guthrie going to Notre Dame. I'll have to check on that. Todd says, then later on, I think you got CET and the SWAT team called on him. Oh, CTE, yeah, a couple times. Yeah, I remember that. I think he was with the Bears when he was being crazy. That guy had a screw loose, man. He had the SWAT team come to his house out in outside of Chicago. I remember that. Doug says if Clark can reel in all three, Stewart and others of the type and ability, then I don't care squat about the Jack. Forget about it. I'm with you. The Jack is not at the forefront of my mind. I just brought it up because that's what they were recruiting Justin Hill as. That's what they told him, you know. But yeah, Jakeem Stewart is a beast. Let's get him. You know he's going to reclassify to the 2025 class. So fine with me. Bring him on in. So what else here? Doug's oh yeah, got you, Doug. Odysseus says Fry and Bailey developing O line and tight end and run blocking game are the big question marks. Yeah. Uh tight end is a concern. G. Scott, originally a receiver, obviously. Let's see, what development have we made over a year's time? Over the winter, spring, summer. What have we done in that tight end room development wise? Is Jelani ready? Seems like he should be. He's got all the tools. He's got the size. Has he put on some good weight? Bulked up a bit. G. Scott, is he a better blocker? Is he a blocker? Start there. I don't know. I haven't seen much out of him in the run game from a blocking standpoint at all that has impressed me. You got Kazmarek. Is he ready to play big time ball? I don't know. Maybe. He's coming from Ohio University, though. We'll have to see. So that tight end group needs some serious development, and it's going to be on Keenan Bailey. I know that this is Bailey's first position coach job, but he's got to develop these guys, and we got to see it. Same with the O-line. Justin Fry, we've talked about it over and over. He's got to develop these guys. Did a good job with Josh Simmons, in my opinion, last year. Simmons got better from the beginning of the season to the end. I believe he did give up a sack, though, in the Cotton Bowl, but who didn't? Now, the center, Seth McLaughlin, do you feel good about him? I do. Having a fifth-year guy played 25 games at Bama. I feel good about that. Right guard, can we settle that? Can we settle that quickly in camp? Is it Luke? Is it Tegra? Is it Hinsman? I don't know. I'm not a big Hinsman fan, mostly because I don't think he was physically ready and mentally ready to play center last year, and I'm not sure that he's better than Luke Montgomery or Tegra. So I don't have a preference which of the three take that job, but as far as right tackle goes, Fryer's the guy. Has he improved? Has he developed again over an off season? Is he, has he limbered up? Has he done some yoga? Something? I don't know. Let's see it. But I know Fry is always a punching bag for the fan base. Back to the chat here as we'll go to 4:30, and oh boy, we piled up a bunch of chats here while I was talking. Christopher says, "Yeah, base defense is always better than using a jack." Right. Billy says, "No more stretches to the boundary." Damn. Well, you never know. Chip might like stretched into the boundary, Billy. Can they get some yardage out of it? Maybe Chip has the magic dust that can run a successful stretch into the boundary. Who knows? We'll see. Doug says Fry and Bailey are on the clock a little tiny bit. Yeah, I'd say most of the fan base is with you right there, especially on Fry. Billy says Fry a bigger bit. Billy can always count on you, right on cue. That rhymes. Doug says, "Yep." Odysseus says tight end blocking was atrocious last year and compounded the run game woes. Yes. And I know this is going to probably piss off some people, but Cade Stover, great Buckeye, not a great blocker. There, I said it. Excellent at catching the ball from the tight end position. Misses on some blocks occasionally. Maybe it's due to injury. I don't know. Any player could say that, but not great in the blocking. Anyway, Juck on Bucks. What's up, Juck? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Guthrie hasn't been offered by us yet. Okay, that's why I couldn't find him in the offer list. I should have known that. Odysseus says that And the cheap hit to Trey by that Domer LB. Yeah, that was a freaking cheap shot, dude. That Polynesian guy. Yeah, that was some bullshit. That was low rent. Um, I wonder if I hope somebody got him back for that. I hope somebody paid him back. Hopefully it was Trey, but I hope somebody paid that linebacker back. Maybe a little action under down the bottom of the pile. Juck says, hey guys, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th to you, Juck. Everybody's happy to see Juck. Doug says, if Day didn't fire Bailey for starting and losing a fight in the weight room, then he's safe for a while, actually. Hope he gets to developing his tight ends. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a rookie move, doesn't it? Sounds like a young guy, maybe a hot-headed young coach move. I'm going to stand up for my players or show that I'll go to war for my players, and you get your ass kicked. It's not a good look, but he doesn't look intimidating to me. But just go coach him, Bailey. Go coach him up. Billy says, still can't get over a Cotton Bowl. Yeah, I just put it out of my brain. Can somebody scrub the internet of that video? I don't really care to see it ever again. What else here? Doug says Bennett Christian's built like someone that should be a good blocker. Yeah, he is. He is. But he hasn't played in the offense. All of last year, he was on scout team. So he was running the opposing team's offense. So does he know the offense? He has to be in good shape, right? He was doing PEDs. Just kidding. That's a low blow. Sorry. No, I haven't started drinking yet. Billy says my money on Tegra at that right guard job. Okay. It's his third year. Going into his third year. Luke's going into his second. Hinsman going into his third as well, I believe. Yeah. So Christopher says, I kind of hope Kelly calls plays from the booth like Kevin Wilson did, because they can see the field and they can communicate what they see. They can't see the field. Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure Chip Kelly will be in the booth because he can see the field. Yeah. And there's too much chaos on the freaking sidelines anyways. You don't need to be down there. I don't know any offensive coordinator that's good for, or defensive for that matter. Just like Jim Knowles, he's always in the booth. Doug says, I keep hearing Tegra has made a case for himself starting the season. Okay. That sounds good. Let's see it in fall camp. Doug says Day's reason for the stretch was to tire the defensive lineman out, but it did the same thing to the offensive lineman. Right. I mean, it's the old good for the goose, good for the gander thing. Is that the right saying? I don't know. Tit for tit. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit against the wall. Iron Man Buckeye says losing both Hill and McNutt was a huge blow. How can we not close Ohio players? Well, everybody's recruiting nationally, especially Oregon, Alabama, Georgia, us. So you're going to have guys coming in, other schools coming into Ohio. It's you can't win them all. You can't keep all the Ohio kids at home, and you can't keep all the 5 stars at home. It's just it's virtually impossible. But and don't forget about Brew there, Iron Man Buckeye. Christopher says Stover should have been better blocking considering he played defense. That was always my thought. He's a tough guy, big dude. Why the lack of effort in the blocking game? I don't know. Doug says the cheap shot on Trey is the only reason he's still on the team this season. What? I'm not following you there, Doug. Decius says heard Hill's parents are longtime Bama fans, along with the Jack. Yeah, I heard that too. How long have they been Bama fans? Like before Nick Saban got there? Because that hasn't been super long. Just curious. But yeah, I heard that too. This just says Brew was straight up dollars, and we had two better corners already. Yeah, that's a fair point on Dorian Brew. Definitely an NIL recruitment. Really thought that his mom would have more of an influence on him coming to Ohio State. I know his dad went to LSU and all that, and they were living down in Texas, but really thought mom would have pushed him a little harder uh, to the Buckeyes. But kid made up his mind. She probably washed her hands of it, you know. Doug says Tegra has toned up and looks like a Big Ten offensive lineman. Yeah, he does. I thought he looked like a starter last year, honestly. Um, Doug says only 16 likes. Come on, guys. That's right. Come on, people. Give us those likes. Thanks, Doug. Thank you for fighting a good fight. Christopher says, I think Chip runs more inside zone scheme and Day likes the outside zone. Yeah, that's true. So it's going to have to be, Day's going to have to relinquish some control, give it up, give it to your OC. If it were anybody else, I think Day would be more hands-on, but maybe Day can take a little bit of a step back, especially in the run game, which is Chipper's specialty, and let him go, let him call plays. Full-blooded Buckeye says I smashed the like button a while ago. Thank you, full-blooded Buckeye. Hey, we're at 17 likes. Good job, guys. Now I don't regret doing a live show on a holiday. Anyways, Southeast Dago 619. Awesome name. He says, go Bucks, go Bucks. Dago. Doug says, if Trey wouldn't have been hurt and rushed for 1,500 yards, he would have turned pro. Oh, yes. I get you now. Good point. Yeah, he definitely was gone. Christopher says, I hit the like button. I hit the like when I joined the show. Thank you for Christopher. We appreciate you. Look at this. We're up to 19. Awesome. Freaking awesome. I love it. So I hope everybody has a good rest of their fourth. Thank you for all of the likes. Thanks for coming in. We got a nice little turnout. Just an update on the show going forward. Friday, no live show. I moved it to today. And no Sunday show, but a week from this Sunday, me, Jeff, and Sean will be back at our usual 7:30 p.m. spot Eastern. So hopefully you'll join us live here on the YouTube and pop in the comments, give me your usual stuff, and we'll have a good time. We got to start getting geared up for the season. So figured middle of July, let's start talking two deeps. Let's talk about position group breakdowns. We got to break down some of these opponents, man. We got Oregon, freaking the Cheaters, Penn State. It's nuts. Some good ass games this year. Not till week 6 though. So thank you for everybody coming in. And I'm going to get out the door here, go pour myself a shot of Eagle Rare. And hopefully you guys have a good one. Don't blow your fingers off. Don't blow somebody else's fingers off. And we'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.